Good late morning, everybody. Hope you guys are still doing good. And going to be a pretty busy day because we've learned some interesting things in the last 24 hours, mostly about the Seahawks, but there's also a little bit of extracurricular stuff that I'm going to go over. So, this video is going to be about an interesting tidbit of information that we picked up yesterday after the Seahawks Rams game from Ian Furness. So, it concerns one Rashaad Penny, and this is an interesting time to learn this. This is an interesting time to get this revelation because of what's going on with our other running back, who I'll talk about in this video as well. This is kind of a big running back video, I guess you could say, because that's a position where we might have a big problem. Do we? We might need some time to be sure, but I'll try to tell you guys what I can. What I can tell you is that a guy who we kind of left for dead might not be dead. Rashaad Penny. According to Ian Furness, Rashaad Penny believes there is a decent chance he can return for the playoffs if the Seahawks make it. So that's interesting because this was not something I was thinking about at all. I was thinking about it with Jamal Adams. There's been a lot of stuff coming out around Jamal Adams that, he could be back for the playoffs. He could be back for the end of the season. That was a storyline that I was kind of keeping an eye on here. But Rashaad Penny, I was kind of thinking, well, he got injured in week 5. He's not going to come back this year. There's no way. Even if he could, why would he? So I wasn't really thinking about Penny coming back, but decent decent can be interpreted a few different ways. But I got to say, this is a venue for the Seahawks getting a little bit of help in their backfield that I wasn't really thinking about. Rashaad Penny was playing well before he got hurt. He was busting off big runs. He had a high yard per carry average. He was one of the better running backs in the league. He had that monster game on the Lions. Most of the games where he didn't play well, he just didn't get the ball that much. And if Rashaad Penny comes back in this season and manages to make an impact for the Seahawks in the playoffs if we make it, I think that's a big plus. It's a big plus for him as well. Rashaad Penny signed a 1-year prove-it deal. He didn't prove that much because he got injured so quickly. If he can come back and have some kind of big playoff run, even over the course of even just 1 or 2 games, that could help him in the off season. So this is exciting, and I'm hoping it comes to pass. I like Rashaad Penny a lot. He really won me over in the second half of the season last year, and the way he was starting off this year before he got hurt. So very interesting here. We could get Penny back in 2022. On top of that, we also learned a little bit more about Ken Walker. This is probably a little more immediately of concern to Seahawks fans because Ken Walker is the starting running back right now, and we have a game in 6 days, and we need a running back. And right now, it's unclear who our running backs even are. So Pete filled us in a little bit yesterday after the game. Ken Walker jammed his ankle. It's not sprained, but he didn't say too much more other than that. So that doesn't really tell us that much, other than the fact that it doesn't sound as bad as it could have been. It's not sprained, which is great news, but the real question that we as fans have is how much time is he going to miss, and what is he going to be when he gets back? So this doesn't necessarily tell us that much. We don't know a ton yet. I did see one thing over on Twitter from a Twitter doc, football injury doc. Take these things with a grain of sand. I understand. This is just some dude on Twitter who claims to be a doctor. These guys get it wrong all the time. However, it's the best that we have at this moment as I record this. So his ankle was jammed, and first step here is consistent with posterior impingement. Second, eversion/high ankle. So according to this guy on Twitter, this FB injury doc, at worst, this is a 2 to 4 week injury. If lucky, he'll be back at less than 100% next week against the Panthers. So, for whatever it's worth, based off the information I have right now, which isn't a ton, seems like Ken Walker avoided the worst and he's going to be okay. Good chance he plays against the Panthers. If he doesn't play against the Panthers, you'll probably see him a couple weeks down the line. He'll be back before the end of the year. So I think we dodged the worst with Ken Walker. I will say it seems like he's had a few nagging injuries over the course of this season. It keeps happening. It's getting annoying. I blame this garbage turf that we keep ending up playing on. I mean, this kind of stuff kept happening when we played in LA against the Chargers. Now it happens in LA again against the Rams. I don't like it. Make it stop. So at least we avoided the really bad news. I can say that. He will be back this year, almost certainly. Hopefully we get more clarity and even better news than that later today or tomorrow. By the way, real quick here, while we're on the topic, Ryan Neal said, Pete Carroll said of Ryan Neal that the knee injury doesn't look particularly bad, and basically said, I don't think he'll miss any time. Mentioned Neal's bursa sack, which is not the worst sack to have injured, I guess, but it doesn't sound great. But sounds like Ryan Neal's going to be okay, so that's certainly good news. But either way, we can get Penny back, we can get Ken Walker back, we can get DJ Dallas and Travis Homer back. Or, I mean, we didn't really lose DJ Dallas, but he's clearly not at 100%, clearly not himself. It doesn't really matter. We need better run blocking. This is a stat that was posted up last week from Football Outsiders, and I doubt it's changed very much in the 1 week we've had since it got posted. Ken Walker's success rate is currently 35th out of 36 qualifying running backs in the NFL. That's a problem. Success rate is basically a measure of whether or not a running play with a certain player was successful based on the down and distance. So if Ken Walker gets the ball on 1st and 10 and picks up 7 yards, that's a positive carry. That's a good carry. That is successful. If he gets the ball on 3rd and 35 and picks up 7 yards, that's not successful. So it's relative. That's basically what success rate is. It takes things in context. And you can see Ken Walker's success rate as a running back is right at the bottom of the league, 39%. The only one worse is Robinson from the Jets. And he's a guy who got traded. So, yeah. And I don't put very much of that on Walker. Does Walker dance a little too much? Sometimes, a little bit. But the run blocking, man. We can put anybody we want to back there right now. But especially on the interior, it just seems like we're not run blocking well right now. Austin Blythe is a huge, huge negative run blocking. And I don't know if there's a fix for that. But we also need to get better run blocking from the right guard spot. And at the end of the day, we can get Penny back, we can get Walker back, but this is the thing that has to change to make any of that matter. Success rate needs to go up, and that starts with the run blocking becoming more consistent. So hopefully we do get good news about Walker later today / tomorrow, and we get good news about Penny in about a month. But yeah, this run blocking is going to be the death of us. So got to do something about it. All right, I'll see you guys later. Go Hawks. Pretty good news, I guess, all around. You would say that between the Penny thing and the Walker not having a sprain and supposedly being back relatively soon, that's probably good news right now. But we may have to figure out a contingency plan in the meantime. I'll talk a little bit about that later. Catch y'all in the future video.